Welcome to another Meetup Live. My name's Alex. I am a lead on the customer support team. I'm joined today by Colin-Pierre. He is another lead on the customer support team, and we are going to give you some office hours to discuss the new Meetup for Organizers app. We posted a couple of Meetup Live events to introduce people to the idea of the app, and we want to kind of like start digging in a little more and getting into some of the specifics about how you can use the app, ways you can be successful with it, and try to dig in here and help everybody leverage it as best as possible. We'll get started on our presentation here. As always, we like to go over event guidelines at the beginning of each one of these Meetup Lives. This event will be recorded, and you do not appear in the video. Similarly, your audio has been courtesy muted during this event, so anything you say or are doing visually, it's not going to appear in the video. Don't worry. If you have questions, we do have a Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. We would love you to ask questions. We've got time at the end of the event for answering some of those questions. We also have support specialists on the line during the presentation who may be typing up answers and submitting them to you via chat. If you'd like closed captioning, it is available. To turn it on, just click the live transcription icon at the bottom of your screen and select your preference. And we will move on to the next slide. Got a pretty straightforward agenda for today. After I get done introducing our presentation and our event today, we're going to spend some time talking about why the Meetup for Organizers app exists in the first place and what distinguishes it from the website versus the classic Meetup app. Colin is going to take us through a live demonstration of how we can log into the app and how we can create events with it, some of the optional features and settings that are available exclusively through the Meetup for Organizers app. And then, like I said, at the end of the presentation, we will make time to answer some of your questions directly. So what you'll learn today, like I said, we're going to talk about unique features that are available for the Meetup for Organizers app. We'll show you where you can go to download and set up this new app. Colin's going to take us through that live demonstration. We really want to make sure we can point out the optional settings, how you activate them and what they're for. And then we also like to make sure that we offer you lots of ways to get in contact with our community support team. That's the best way that you can report bugs, request additional features, or just ask for help using the app and getting successful with hosting your events. Before we really dig into the next part of our presentation, we have a little poll we'd like to share with everybody because we're interested in who's downloading the app, who's using it, and what your experience is with it so far. We've just posted the poll, and if you don't mind, we'd love for you to answer. If you haven't downloaded this Meetup for Organizers app yet, why? If you've already downloaded the app, that's great. We want to know that too. But if got some other options here, if you're comfortable just using the original app, if you're waiting for new updates, or if you don't tend to plan events on your phone, we're trying to learn more about how people are using Meetup, and this is really helpful for our product team. So thank you. All right, the poll's going to stay up, so feel free to keep engaging with it. And we will move on in our presentation onto our next section, which is why organizers deserve their own dedicated Meetup app. We've been trying to answer this question. What's the difference between the Meetup website, the member app, and this new Meetup for Organizers app? Now, as you may or may not be aware, Meetup's been around for 20 years now. I think we just celebrated our 20th anniversary, and the website was what we originally launched. We're really proud of how we've been updating and expanding the website, but the internet itself has been changing, and the way people are using the internet, the way people are using Meetup has been changing. We rolled out the member app as a way to engage with that, and now as technology continues to develop and as people continue to change how they're using Meetup, we wanted to make sure we had a dedicated experience for organizers. This reflects like the current state of how people are using their phones and how people are managing communities. The purpose of the new Meetup for Organizers app, it's going to offer a faster, simpler experience because it's dedicated to offering you your tools for organizing and for managing community. Because it's focused, you get more direct access to those tools and more direct access to support for your events. And the thing that we think is going to be really, really useful for people is going to be that it's going to allow you to plan on the go how you are managing your events. You can publish events as you're walking around. As soon as ideas occur to you, you've got your app right there and you can publish a Meetup event through your Meetup for Organizers app. We want to make sure everything is really accessible, really convenient, and really fast for you. We want to take you through some of the differences between the existing app and the Meetup for Organizers app. On the left side, you'll see some bullet points about things that you can currently do in the original app. As I'm sure you're aware, you can create and edit events, you can contact your members with your email client, you can manage your attendees, check notifications for your entire account, you can save an event draft, and the app will automatically announce your events for you. We've made all of those options even more robust in the new Meetup for Organizers app. First 3 bullet points are the same. It has very similar functionality, but after that point, you're getting expanded or brand new features. Rather than getting account notifications for everything that you're subscribed to, you're getting a much more streamlined set of notifications that are specific to the groups that you organize. You not only save one event draft, but you can have an entire list of drafts, so you can be managing which events you want to publish when through the app. You can choose when you want event announcements to go out, which until now was only available to do on the website. You also have the functionality to create repeating events. You can format your events in the Meetup for Organizers app. You can add or change your event hosts. Event fees, it's a brand new feature for the Meetup for Organizers app. We're expanding search capabilities, and you can even integrate your Zoom account, so you can set up an online event with the Meetup for Organizer app. And we're going to continue developing unique features for the Meetup for Organizers app in order to make this the most powerful experience for organizers that's currently available. So now that we've sort of teased everything that you're capable of doing, and we will get a chance to show you in more depth how you can access these features, want to make sure that you've got access to the app itself. So if you haven't downloaded the Meetup for Organizer app already, the QR code on your screen is available. You can scan that code. It's going to take you to the landing page where you can download the app. You can download the version of the app that is specific for your device. It's available on both iOS and Android devices. The screenshots here of the phones will give you a glimpse about how the Organizer app is going to look once you log in. And if you don't get a chance to scan this QR code now, don't worry. We will be posting that QR code again throughout the presentation, but you might want to make sure that you have your phone handy now, because we will be kind of walking through each of these features as Colin is showing off the demonstration. And I personally, I learned by doing. We want to make sure that you have the same opportunity, that if you've got your phone there and you can log into the Organizer app and start testing some of these features. All right, moving on. All right, here is the real meat and potatoes of today's event, which is navigating the Meetup for Organizers app. This is where Colin is going to show us a lot of the specific features. We've got it broken down here in this list. Broadly speaking, we're going to take a look at how you can get around inside the app, the main feature, which is how to create events, and all of the unique details in our event scheduler that will allow you to create the kind of event that you want. And then once it's published, how you can manage the event and how you can help build your community with the tools available in this app. So if you'll bear with us for just one moment, we're going to switch screens here so that you can see what's going on Colin's screen, and he'll walk us through the app.
All right. Hey, everyone. This is Colin from Meetup. I'm excited to show you about the Meetup for Organizers app. Let me just take over screen sharing on my phone here. I'm going to start my broadcast. Okay. Let's go home here. Okay, so here's the Meetup for Organizers app. All right, so everyone's got it downloaded, right? Let's walk through it together. So when you open the app, obviously you'll need to log in, and you want to log in with your organizer account credentials, because this app is not available to members. So you'll need to be on the leadership team of a group in order to access the event. So I'm going to log in here. And if you happen to log in with the wrong account, it will tell you. All right, so now I'm logged in, and welcome to the Meetup for Organizers app. So this is your group overview page. At the top here, you can see your group title, got your location, and the number of members in your group. This is my Real Yoga for Beginners group located in Brooklyn, but it's an online group, so we do events all online, so people from around the world can join, which is pretty cool. You can see the number of members here. I have 268 yogis. If you tap that, it will bring you to our mobile web experience where you can manage your group's membership. You can change the member's role and or remove the member. And if you have organizer approval turned on, you can approve members. You can also tap into the member to see their stats and the answers to their group questions or profile questions. Back on the group homepage, you can also send a group-wide message to your members by tapping Contact Members and then selecting your preferred email provider. So here I'll tap Gmail, but you need to make sure that you are sending this email from the correct email address, because if you send it from the wrong one, it won't be delivered. So make sure that you're sending it from the email address tied to your organizer account. You can see that the email address is the group's mailing list. So that will go to all members who are subscribed to your group announcements and mailing list. Let's go back to the app here. You can also access your group settings. This navigates to our web experience, mobile web experience. And you can edit your group, you can edit your new member settings and all of the above here. And then you have in the middle your events. So there's the upcoming, draft, and past event list. I'll talk more about these in a minute. But also at the bottom, you can see a bunch of hosting tips that link out to our Community Matters blog. In the upper left, there is the 4 dots here. And if you tap that, you'll be able to see all of the groups that you organize. Now, I'm just the organizer of one group, so I just see one. But if you organize multiple groups or you're on the leadership of multiple groups, leadership team of multiple groups, then you'll see them here. You can toggle between them. We just launched a notifications tab. So the notifications tab is in the upper right corner. So you can tap that. You can see all of the notifications that are relevant to your group. So you can see who's RSVP'd. You can see any new members or event updates and reminders. So, someone just RSVP'd to my event today, and it brings me right to the event attendee list. So that's pretty cool. Let's go back. I'll talk more about the attendee list in a second. But then the last kind of overview navigation of this app is again, the upper right, there's your profile icon. If you tap that, it will bring you to your profile page where you can connect your Zoom account. You can report a bug and contact us about support related questions. And if you want to share feedback or there's a feature that you want to see in the app, you can share it there. And of course, you can log out. Cool. So that was a kind of overview of the navigation. I want to show you now how to create an event in the Meetup for Organizers app. So here on the group page, you'll notice the red plus sign in the bottom right corner. So when you tap that, there's 2 options. You can create a new event and you can copy an event. So let's create a new event by tapping the plus sign. And this is the event scheduler where you can input all of your event details. Let's make an event. Since this is a yoga group, we'll do yoga in the park. Now this is a little different from my normal events because they're typically virtual. I'm just going to show you how to do an in-person event. So we'll save that. And then the event location, you can choose whether the event will be in person or online. Now for online events, you can include the online event URL or connect your Zoom account to automatically generate a Zoom link. But for this event, we'll select in person and we'll say that the yoga will be in Prospect Park. So we're in Brooklyn here. say Prospect Park. And it automatically sets a map pin, but I don't want it to be there. So maybe I'll move it to, a specific field that I know is good for yoga. And then the how to find a section is optional, but you can just say like, meet outside the dog park or something. Just for directions on how members can find you. Cool, and then I'll save that. Next is the date and time. So let's set this event for Saturday, the 10th. We can have it start at 12 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock, and it will end at 12 o'clock. Nice hour of yoga in the middle of the day. It's not hot. And then we have our event description. So here you can see that we support rich text formatting. So there's bold, italicized, you can do bullets, numbering, and even hyperlink. I won't do a huge description here, but ideally, your description is detailed and explains everything that your members need to know. And if you do formatting, then when you press preview, you'll see all the formatting there. Let's save that. We have the featured photo option. You can add a featured photo from your camera roll, or we have a bunch of past featured photos. So I'll just use this one. All right, and then we have our optional settings at the bottom. So the first one is the COVID-19 safety measures. This allows you to tell your members that masks or the vaccine is required and whether the event will be held indoors or outdoors. So let's say that the vaccine's required and the event's outdoors. Just pick whatever you want, whatever falls in line with your group policies. Save that. And then we have the repeat event option. So this feature is exclusive to the Organizer app. It's not available in the member app. I'll keep this setting off because I want this to be a one-time event, but you have the option to repeat the event every month, every 2 weeks, or every week. You can even set an end time for when the repeat event will end, but I'll just keep this off.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, Colin. I just really
What's
want
up?
to highlight that because we've had questions about that repeat event feature in the past. When you open the event scheduler, some of those options aren't going to appear until you select the date and time, which Colin already did. So if you're scrolling through your event scheduler and some of these options and optional settings, you're not seeing them right away, make sure you select a date and time first. It'll activate more of the optional settings like repeating event and RSVP start and end time.
Exactly.
Sorry, just wanted to highlight.
No, great call out. So yeah, the next one is the option to ask members a question. So here, when they answer the question, you'll be able to see it in your attendee list. Let's just say, are you beginner? Whatever. Are you beginner, intermediate, or advanced? I'll just keep that. And then when they answer, you'll see what they said on the attendee list. Then we have the add or change host feature. This is also only available in the Organizer app, but if you want to search for a member to add them as a co-host, you can. We also have an attendee limit. This lets you cap the number of members you can RSVP. I'll just keep this off because it's an outdoor event. Got a big field in Prospect Park, but you can set the attendee limit to whatever you want. Oh, nope, off. And then we have allow guests. So if you want to allow your members to bring guests, let's say they can bring up to 5 guests. And we mentioned the RSVP start and end time. Here you can set the event to open or close RSVPs at a certain time. So for example, if I want people to start RSVPing the day of the event or one day before the event, you can do that. But I'll just keep this off. And the last optional setting is the event fee. So this is also exclusive to the Organizer app. It's not available in the member app. If you want to charge your members, you can set the payment method to direct from members or PayPal. You'll just need to make sure that your PayPal account is set up. You can do that through the desktop version of Meetup. And then, set the amount and you can share a refund policy. This is just a free event for me, so I'll keep this off. Cool. So I've inputted all of my event details, but let's say I'm not quite ready to publish it yet. You can save the event as a draft by tapping Save as Draft at the bottom. And then you'll see it immediately right in your draft list. So if you want to maybe edit or delete the draft, just tap it, and in the upper right, you'll see the 3 dots, and you can click Discard Draft and it will delete it. But if you're ready to publish it, just go down to Publish Event. And it lets you know that your event has been published. You can choose to announce the event now or do it later. I'm going to do it later. And if I tap Do It Later, you can see at the top that it's unannounced. There's this unannounced tag. And if I tap it, you can then announce it whenever you want. And then in the upper right, there's the share option. So you can share it via text, email, copy the link, or if you tap more, it will, let you send it to your network in whatever way you want. Cool. So that's how to create an event. We'll come back to kind of this event overview, but I'm going to go back home here. And let's look at how to manage some events. So now that you've created one, you're bound to want to make some edits or update stuff. So here in the upcoming events list, if you tap See All Upcoming Events at the bottom, you'll have the option to search for a specific event in the search bar. And so I have a bunch of, let's just maybe search for, you can search for any of them, but I'll just tap this first one. And this is, the event that's happening today. And we have this new Going tab, and it shows you your attendee list. So this is where you can view and manage your attendees. If a member is attending an event for the first time, then you'll see a first event tag. So it looks like Abby and Robin are attending for the first time today. David has a guest. If you tap into a member, you can move them to not going. You can edit their guest count. You can make them an event host. And if this was a paid event, then you'd be able to mark them as paid as well. If you tap the guest, you can remove the guest. And you can also search for a member up at the top. So let's make Alex come to my event today. We'll say he's going. So now you can see that there's an extra person going. There he is. It's his first event. You can also see if anyone is not going in the Not Going X tab. You can also filter and sort. So if you tap the filter button, you can filter by who's a host and who's bringing guests. So you can see, the one person who's bringing a guest here. And then you can sort by most recent response or alphabetically. If you tap the upper right 3 dots, then you can kind of manage the event optional settings. You can close the event for RSVPs, you can edit the guest limit, and you can edit the attendee limit. Cool. Let's go back to the event overview page. So yeah, it's
Before
telling
we
you
move on, Colin,
Yep.
I just want to tease. We got a question, the Q&A, and I think it's a good opportunity to answer it now while we're still here.
Sure.
Anne Marie had asked if we can see again how we can tell how many RSVPs the member has made.
You mean like historically, like forever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
I'm not certain from the question if we're talking about group specific or generally.
yeah. So the best way to see that info would be actually to tap on your members, and then you can tap Julie, and you can see how many RSVPs they've said yes to and how many they've said no to in the past. So that's the best way to see how many times they've RSVP'd in history.
Great.
Yep,
Thanks, Colin.
no problem. So back on the event page, we can see at the top it's starting soon. I already showed you about the attendee list, but this is all of the event information. So it just kind of gives an overview of what the event is. And if you want to edit any of this, you'll just tap Manage Event at the bottom. And from here, you can choose to edit the event details. You can also view the event in the Meetup app to see what your members can see. It's a good way to kind of see the members' perspective on like what the event looks like. You can also feature the event. You can close the event for RSVPs, copy, cancel, or delete the event. Now, when I tap Edit Event, this is a reoccurring event, so it's repeating every, I think, like every day. And so it warns you that you are editing this single event from a series. So any changes I make to this event, it won't be applied to every single event. It'll just be applied to this event. Cool. So let's just say I want to do a quick update on the time. You can edit any of this, but I just realized, oh, yoga might take 15 minutes later today. And so it's a perfect opportunity to be able to manage events on the go. You don't have to log into desktop and edit it on the computer. You can just log into the Meetup for Organizers app really quickly, save that, and don't have to worry about it. Now, let's just save and publish that. I just updated it for a little longer. Now, a super useful feature on the Organizer app is the ability to copy an event. So let's head back to the group homepage and we'll find a past event to copy. So I'll go to my past event tab. And let's say I had a really great experience, a couple weeks ago with this event and I want to do it again. So I'll just go and find the event. You can scroll, you can search, but just, grab the event. And then you can click Manage Event and you tap Copy Event. And this copies all of the details except the date and time, which you'll obviously need to change because it's a new date and time. So yeah, just select it, select the new date and time, save it, and you can publish it. So it's just a really quick way to copy past events. You can also copy upcoming events, do it later. And then of course, on the group homepage here, you can tap the plus sign and then tap the copy event button, and it just does the same functionality where you select the event to copy. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I would love, we're always looking for feedback about how we can improve this. Definitely let us know if you experience any issues and if you run into any bugs. Our Organizer app engineers are really on top of it and super talented people that have really rolled this out in a very quality manner, in my opinion. So yeah, let us know. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Colin. You'll be delighted to hear I just received a notification on my phone from my Meetup app, which says Colin-Pierre marked you as attending.
There we go. That's what it's there
for. So great. So thank you very much for walking us through that. All right, we're going to continue through with our slide deck now. So as we've been saying, we're really excited and really proud about this new Organizer app. We really want people to get a chance to really use it, see how it works for them, and then we want to hear from you how it's functioning. Hearing directly from our organizers is how we learn best what needs to be updated, what features need to be rolled out. because of feedback we've already received from organizers since we rolled out the new Meetup for Organizers app, there's a new feature on the way, a check-in feature. With this feature, soon you'll be able to mark attendees as checked in or absent in real time as your event is starting. You can also flag no-shows or edit guest counts. We don't have screenshots of this feature to show you yet since it hasn't been rolled out yet, but keep an eye out soon. We'll be launching it, I think within, well, I don't want to make promises about when, but it's being actively built. We should have it for you soon. And that's the sort of feature that we developed specifically because we were hearing from people using the app and we want to make it as useful as possible for people. So in the spirit of that feedback, we want to make sure that you have access to do that. Colin showed us in the profile of your Meetup for Organizers app, there is a specific link to share feedback. But if we move ahead on the slide, I've got some QR codes that you can contact support directly. Let's see, next slide, please. All right, and here's how you can contact support. I've got 4 QR codes here, and each of them have a slightly more specific purpose so that you can get in contact with a specialist that answers your question sooner rather than later. So like I said, if there's specific features that you want to request, our product feature request form is available in the top left-hand corner. If you just want to stay up to date on new features as we roll them out, our Community Matters blog will publish our product updates, and you can keep an eye on those. If you need help using specific parts of the app, or you have questions about particular features, what they're for, how you can succeed with using them, you can contact us through our Help Center. The Help Center also has a tremendous number of articles and resources to answer those questions, but if you're still not finding the answer you're looking for, the bottom of each page has a link that says Get Help. It'll put you in direct touch via email with one of our support specialists. And last but not least, if something is going wrong, if you're seeing an error message, if the app is not functioning the way it's supposed to, you can submit a direct request to report a bug. And that's in the bottom right-hand corner of that QR code. We'll be posting those links in the chat as well. I believe Emily's just done so. And now, as promised, we bring you, last but not least, to QA. This is, I think, probably the most important part of these events, because hearing directly from you and making sure you have access to us and we can answer your questions is how we can better facilitate the use of the app. We're putting this slide back up so that if you didn't get a chance to download the app already, you've got another chance now. And while that's on the screen, we're going to start answering questions. I'm going to review what we've got here. I actually see a question here from Jean, and I'm going to answer that one first, which is there a cost to using the Meetup for Organizers app? So the answer to that is no, there's not a cost to using the app. However, you do need to have an active Meetup subscription and be an organizer in order to access the app, unless you're on a leadership team. There needs to be someone who's paying for an organizer subscription in order to give you access to the app. So the app itself doesn't cost anything, but somewhere in the process, somebody has to have paid for an organizer subscription. So that's the answer to that. I think next question we will address is, let's see, on the Meetup website, it says, plus other event management features exclusive to the Meetup for Organizers app. Does that mean there will be features only on the app that aren't on the website for organizers?
I could answer that.
Yeah, go for it, Colin.
So we don't have any features that are like absolutely exclusive to the organizer app. They're all right now available on desktop. However, once we launch check-in will be exclusive to the Meetup for Organizers app and not available on desktop. The idea behind that is, you know, you're on your phone, you can easily check people in while they arrive. But if you have feedback about that, definitely let us know.
And it's worth pointing out, like, that the design of that feature was not done arbitrarily just to make the organizer app have an exclusive feature. We are trying to very actively think about what's useful for people. Are you, like, it's inconvenient to bring your computer with you to events. We want to make sure you have the functionality there with your app. So we've got an app-specific version of member check-in, attendee check-in as you're at the app. So, but again, like Colin said, that's what the feature request is for. If that's just not how you are managing your events and you need better functionality, we want to hear that. Our next question comes from Dave. He asks, So if we use the setup payment through PayPal feature, if we're charging an event fee like Colin showed us, does that mean they must also have a PayPal account? Answer to that is yes. No, Colin, don't you need a PayPal account in order to pay for PayPal?
Well, if the member pays on site, do they need a PayPal account for that? Do they just enter
They
their?
can just use their card.
I think so. I don't know if they need an actual like separate PayPal account. I think they just kind of pay, and then you just definitely need a PayPal account to collect the funds.
That's I've had PayPal for so long.
I know, I
may
need
have
to
lost
double
track of it.
check.
That would make sense. I mean, the point is it's a payment processor. They want to make sure people can pay you. So I can say we have an article for setting up event fees with PayPal in our help center, which can shed some light on that. And if you are running into questions and concerns about how other people are able to pay you that way, the link there to get help at the bottom of that help center page, please get in touch with us. We can investigate that sort of account specific question directly with you. All right.
I see a question from May. She says, how can I unmark someone paid when I accidentally marked them paid? Can we update that feature? So yeah, when you're in the Meetup for Organizers app and you go to your attendee list, if you accidentally marked them as paid, then you should be able to tap their name, and then you'll be able to mark them as unpaid. If for some reason you're not seeing that, then definitely contact us and we can look into why that's not happening. But you should be able to mark someone as unpaid through the attendee list, or paid or unpaid.
I'm seeing two questions about featured events. First is, what does featured event mean? And the second is, can you feature more than one event? So a featured event just means that you've selected a particular event that gets surfaced towards the top of your group homepage, so that as members are visiting your group, they'll see that particular event highlighted. Sometimes it's useful if you've planned a lot of events, but you've got a particularly big one coming up in the future and you want to make sure that new members are aware of it. As for the second question, can you feature more than one event? At this time, no. If featuring multiple events is something that you think would be really useful for your group, again, really great thing to submit to our feature request form. Dave asks, if I change to end time, do all members or just RSVPs receive a new email with new end time change?
I can answer that.
Okay,
yeah,
go.
sorry, I don't mean to, I'm sure you know the answer, please. But if you change the end time of the event, then only the members who have RSVP'd will get a notification about that.
Okay. Got a question from the East Brunswick Public Library. Will we in the future be able to comment on events in the Organizer app? I have to switch to do so to send updates, etc.
I can try to answer that too. So we're actually nearing the launch of an event chat feature. And so event chat will allow you to chat in real time with your attendees. And so you wouldn't even need to use the comment feature. It's a more robust way to communicate. You'll be able to reply to members. You can react to the messages. You can share photos. You can share files. And so that's coming up. Don't know, I don't have an exact date, but it's after our check-in feature launches. We'll be working on that.
Don asks, there used to be a survey form guests could fill out after an event. Is that available on the new app? I believe Don's referring to the feedback, the automatic event feedback that goes out to attendees of an event. And I mean, because it's automatic, Colin, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like attendees should still be receiving that form.
Yeah, not in the Organizer app.
Right.
But yeah,
it would go out to the attendees, therefore it would be in the original, the member app.
Right. I'm trying to even think if it's in the member app, but it's definitely on desktop. It's the post event feedback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it should still be going, but it's not a feature in the Organizer app right now.
which again would make sense because as an organizer, you wouldn't be
Sure.
submitting feedback for your own event. Sylvan asks, will there eventually be a chat within the apps, the normal one and the organizer apps for the members of the ongoing event to keep contact when you're out and one of the members got lost? Oh, I mean, Colin just addressed this. Yes, we will be launching event chat soon. It'll be live, real-time communication, particularly useful once events are actually underway and keeping in touch with members who are having trouble finding the event. As sort of like a side note, as sort of like a success measure, I think it's also like we've been saying, like you can, as an organizer, you can assign leadership team roles to help you like manage your group, manage events. If you're actively hosting an event, it's useful to have someone on your leadership team who also has access to the same tools that they can be managing those communications as your event is going. Just stuff to keep in mind. Okay.
I see a last question here. When I send an email to my group, it's from Anne. When I send an email to my group, I cannot upload a video, but I can add pictures. Will you ever allow videos to be included in the email? That's an interesting idea. Right now, we don't have any plans to do that. But again, we would love to hear how and why that would be useful to you, and what kind of videos you would want to send, if it's like, you know, linking to YouTube or embedding videos, or if you want to like actually upload them. Those are all interesting ideas. So yeah, let us know why you would want that. And cool. Well, I think we're out of time. Thank you so much for these questions. I don't see any more. So
the slide we're looking at now is an invitation to join our Meetup Organizer community on Discord. If you're unfamiliar with Discord, it's a live communication platform and real-time messaging. And we have partnered with some of our experienced organizers to mentor new organizers. So whether you are an experienced organizer yourself or a brand new organizer who's just starting to build your community, this is a really valuable resource we're really excited about developing, because communicating with other people who are doing this work are going to give you like some of the best tips possible on how you can continue to expand your group and host really successful events. Feel free to scan the QR code to get that invitation, join our community, join the conversation, see what you can learn from other organizers' experiences. And last but not least, as always, this QR code allows you to subscribe to the Meetup podcast. Keep connected with our CEO, David Siegel. Some interesting conversations and promotions about what's going on with Meetup. So if you're interested in what we're talking about there, please, please, please subscribe. All right, well, thank you again for joining us on this office hours for the Meetup Organizers app. Really, really pleased to share it with you. Looking forward to hearing your feedback as you continue using the app, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.